Hello, and welcome to episode 57 of Fallen Dragons. My name is Mike, and I'll be your DM for the night. And uh, I'm here with almost everybody in the group tonight, except for Melody. And uh, Cori will be appearing in a bit. They've got they had an emergency with the kids, so they'll be here when that's done. So, um, but I will throw it over to my players to have them tell you who they are and what they do. And we'll start with Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm playing Kenna. She's a tiefling and she's a multi-classed bard and fighter.
And then right below Kenna is LaFall.
Hello, I'm LaFall. I'm playing a half dragon, which is a gold silver mix with a human, and I am a fighter paladin.
And next to LaFall is Jinx.
Hi, I'm Will. I play Jinx, and if you don't know who I am, you're going to find out very soon.
Jinx has a bit of a doggy problem.
Yes,
Nobody knows what Jinx is right about now.
I don't even know what I am.
He has a bit of a doggy problem in real life and in the game at the
Yeah,
moment.
so I apologize if you suddenly hear a corgi and a morky start barking. I
And
won't lie, they get pretty loud.
Well, I'm glad I have my headphones in because if I didn't, my dog would hear your dog's barking and then start.
and and the whole thing would just go nuts.
Right on, right,
Yes.
right on cue.
So, um, so when we ended last time, you guys were uh, camped out just outside of um, Valrune, which is the capital city of Canamere, and um, you camped there and decided that um, you would camp there until morning, and so the guards could let you in the gate.
I apologize to anyone who is wearing headphones at the moment.
So,
Deeply apologize for that.
yeah,
I'm
uh,
very sorry, Mike.
that's okay.
I hope I'm not giving you a headache by accident.
I listen to louder things than them. Uh, so as the sun comes up, and you guys are basically all huddled into the wagon uh, ne- next to a small grove of trees right across from the gates of the city. And as the sun comes up and wakes you all up, whether you want to be or not, um, what are each what do each one of you do when you uh the sun blinds you enough to wake you up?
I am going to check to make sure what I am. If I'm myself as my usual bat self, or if I'm my other form.
uh Give me a medicine check.
All right, medicine check. Here we come. Medicine. So that's just a straight. That's just a straight wisdom check. Close that. Rolling wisdom. Oh, not 20. I swear this probably won't happen again for the rest of the game.
uh, you are in fact yourself this
Okay,
mor-
cool. Thank to the
this
points for that.
this morning. Although you do notice you're a little itchy.
Icky as in dirty or
Itchy as in you might have to figure out, you might have to go to the apothecary and get some flea ointment or something.
oh no. Like heck. What up, What's up, Rolling? Uh,
I'm sure Valrune has a apothecary somewhere.
yeah, but that's going. I'm going to embarrassingly try to leave the building without anyone noticing, so I can buy a flea ointment. I know I'm not supposed to break up. I know I'm breaking one of the cardinal sins of D&D right now and leaving without my party, but I think a case of fleas in this case is quite understandable.
Yeah, because I think they'd be rather annoyed with you if you gave them all fleas.
Oh, I think so too.
So,
Can I roll something to see if I see whether or not Jinx is to see whether or not I see Jinx leaving?
I should also roll a
yeah,
stealth.
What
yeah,
would that be? What would
you
that
can,
be? Perception.
yeah, you can give me a perception check. What is Kenna doing now that she's been forced to be awake?
Oh, okay.
Well, what I'm thinking is we all, the three of us, ought to have a talk and make sure we're all on the same page as to what we're going to tell the king and queen. Like, because this is potentially not going to turn out great for us, depending on how they feel about it. So we all ought to, talk about what we're going to say to them.
Okay.
And I got a 12 on my perception check.
I have another 20, but it's a dirty 20. I got 17 plus 3. I swear to God, this dice roller is not loaded. I
But
apologize for the awesome roll I just had.
but but I'll bet you try find it on your computer before when you get um
I'm using a dice roller on Discord that one from another server.
um Jinx is able to climb out of the wagon and head toward the gate. Uh Kenna in fact sees him do this because um it rattles the wagon as Jinx climbs over the edge of it.
You wouldn't call after him. Jinx, where are you going?
Nowhere, love. I just need to get a wee bit of a walk. Okay, I got fleas. I don't know
Oh,
how, but I got fleas.
so I'm thinking, well, I could figure out how you've been a hellhound. That means you've got hell fleas.
Oh, God. Oh, no wonder they burn more than usual. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I caught them once before, but I was just a pup then.
But you walk up to the gate and there's a dragonborn on each side of the gate.
I I just smile and wave to them like, hey, gents and ladies, or ladies and gents, may I please go into your apothecary? I currently have a bit of a vermin problem. Besides myself being a vermin.
Oh, wrong dice. Uh, they start to open the gate to Valrune, and then one of them calls out to the rest of you. Are you guys wanting to come into town too, or is it just him?
Oh, bear with me.
We'll be coming shortly. We just got to pack
Yes.
up.
Well, uh, that's fine. Uh, And they let Jinx walk through the gate. Um, and the other guard called out, from now on, the gates will be open anyway, so you can just come in when you're ready.
Thank you. So get the cart loaded up.
You are, however, st- still a, a bit perplexed as to where Korai went. The Korai is currently not with you. So,
Right, so I'm going to ask LaFall, did you see Korai leave at any point?
Hmm? I didn't see her leave at all.
She didn't say anything. I wonder. Um, can I use sending to see if I can get in touch with her and ask her where she went?
you you can.
See, is that something I need to roll for? Let me look that up real
Yeah.
quick.
And with sendings, you only have a certain number of
Right,
words.
it was. I think it was like 25 words or
Yeah.
something.
So,
Okay. It doesn't look like a roll or anything. It just says you send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner normally. So it looks like I just do it.
yeah.
So I'll just send to Korai. Where are you? Where did you go?
And a few minutes later, uh, y- you hear a very low whisper that is, in fact, you recognize as Korai's voice. And said, said he- headed toward Underdark, uh, encountered the two of the queen's spies. Um, am now being held captive.
Oh, bloody hell! I thought we were all supposed to go to the Underdark together.
Uh, and then you hear a second message. Uh, Upside is par- parents are fine for now. Uh, and then the message stops.
So I'll tell the fool what's going on with Korai, and she really should have waited for us so we could all go together. Would have been safer, probably. But,
Been smarter.
yes,
Safer? Who knows? Smarter? Yes.
true. Yes, bit impulsive on her part, but she'll have to wait, I guess, because we've got this to deal with. And I sort of, nod towards the princess's body in our cart.
Yeah, because at this point, it, you guys have been running around in the, you know, with his body for long enough that it's starting to decay a bit, and it's definitely starting to smell up the place. Uh,
Well, up you go. Now let's head in, I guess.
Right, we're ready. Let's go on in. Hopefully, Jinx has managed to stay out of trouble.
Can I roll to see which direction it is to the apothecary?
you don't have to if you asked one of the guards when you came in.
I think I forgot to ask him which direction it was.
Okay. So you gonna go back and ask, or you just gonna try and wing it on your
I
own?
might go back and ask.
You walk up to one of the two guards and you ask them where the apothecary is. And he's like, if you follow this road that uh, circles around by the gates, there's an apothecary on the opposite side of town uh, by the gate over there. just stay on this road and follow it all the way around to the other side.
Thank you kindly. I'll go have a look at it. Thank you again. And sorry if you get a wee bit of the itchies. I'm trying not to let them jump off at me.
Yeah. So, so I take it you're headed around toward that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Can in the fall you get the wagon straightened up and loaded, and you leave the horses tied to the tree that you were all uh, sleeping under. You leave one of them, the other one's pulling the wagon, and you get up to the gate, and the guard asks you, "What is your business today in Valrune?"
So we've got business
Official
with the
royal
king and
business.
queen.
Official royal business, you say?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, do you have the appropriate seals and paperwork for that?
Hold up our paper.
Okay. Um, well, just follow the main road.
We know where the castle is.
Well, you can see it from here because it's on a cliff. Uh,
We've been up there many a times.
well, yeah,
We
that's true. You guys have been up there a couple times by now. Uh, so, so you guys, you guys head for the castle on the cliff. And
well, we actually have to wait for our other traveling companion because
Right. Oh, we wait for Jinx.
they decide to run off on their own.
well, yeah.
Maybe we ought to go look for him. So I'll ask the. Did we hear them tell Jinx where the apothecary was, or do I need to ask?
No, at that point you were probably right behind him.
All right. So let's head towards the apothecary then and see if we can meet up with Jinx there.
So you guys follow the outside road that rings the gates of the city. And after a few minutes, you all you all arrive at a small brick shop that has a sign that says um, Delbert's Apothecary and other potions. So I would imagine that Jinx is gonna be the one that goes in first because he's slightly ahead of you. So, Jinx, do you attempt to open the door of the apothecary shop?
Yes, I do.
Uh, Give me a dex roll.
All right. Rolling Dex. That's just. 3, Finally, a bad roll for the night.
You try to turn the knob, and it turns, but the door is slightly stuck, and you pull with everything you got, and the door won't open.
Oh,
And couple, maybe may, maybe 2 minutes later, the rest of your traveling companions come up behind you, uh, and they're just sitting there watching as you're struggling to pull this door open. Uh,
Wait, Jinx, the closed or what?
well, the door's not budging. I'll do it in the wallet. I mean, I'm pulling on the handle.
Okay, the sun just rose up. They probably aren't open yet.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Unless this is a push door, I'm going to try and push the door.
Give me another dex roll.
All right. Please, Dex roll, fail me. Please fail me, Dex roll.
Jinx is the only person who actually tells his dice to fail. It's like,
That's what I was gonna say. The only player in history who wants to fail any roll.
yeah.
7.
uh, it gives a slight bit, but that's about it.
I'm gonna hop down off the cart and kind of move Jinx aside. I'm gonna try the door and put some shoulder into it.
Give me a dex roll with disadvantage.
13.
Uh, you hit the door. It gives a little bit, but that's it. And
Yeah, maybe the fool's right. It must be closed.
All right, so I guess we just sit here and wait.
as you do that, you see a dwarf in a black wizard robe stop and just look at you. And then he says, "Why are you guys trying to break into my shop?"
We
Well,
weren't
no,
trying to
actually,
break in. We thought you were open. Sorry.
Well,
we didn't know you were close. I apologize. See, we're
You
kind of
haven't got a sign.
I kind of need to get a certain thing to deal with certain little bugs that could have lived in. Okay, I got fleas, so I need to get rid of them.
I can help you with that. And he walks uh, past the wagon between Kenna and Jinx and waves his hand and the door opens. I don't tend to use conventional locks because they can be picked.
Oh, trust me, sir. Even if we try to pick your lock, odds are my lock picks would have broken inside your door. I'm not
Uh,
very good at it.
wouldn't have broken, they just wouldn't have come back out. So
Yeah.
you have no idea how many lockpick sets I have.
Yeah, Colin would like to see a collection.
um, but on to this flea problem you've got.
Right, it's well, it's a bit of a story. I'm guessing I kind of rolled into something when I was in the altered state of reality, so to speak.
So, what type of fleas are these then?
They're hellhound fleas, sir.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a nick, and all of a sudden I am, well, I change back and forth, and I don't know how or why, and but I haven't told. I become very playful.
uh, why is easy? You got bit by a hellhound. How is you've just sort of got to learn to control it.
No, trust me, I'm doing my best to try to control it. It's just wait. You had this happen to someone else before?
It happens occasionally when hellhounds attack people.
Yeah, I had no idea that being attacked would turn me into this thing. I had no clue.
And there's no way it can just be, I don't know, cured. Like you said, he has to control it. So is it something he's going to be dealing with for the rest of his life? Then there's no way to banish it.
Not in any magical grimoire that I've ever seen. All the stories I've heard, the only way to get rid of it permanently,
Is kill the host, right?
basically, yes. You've, you've got, well, since it's a demonic thing, you have to kill the thing that bit you plus its owner, which,
Well, we kind of already killed the thing that bit me.
well, you almost killed it yourself.
Right,
You have no idea who or what would own the thing.
right.
But he he leads the group of you into the store, into the shop. There's you know shelves from the floor to the ceiling on all the walls that have nothing but bottles and little boxes and you know, bags of things. And he steps behind the counter. It says, "Oh, by the way, my name's McCabe. Um, this is a potion that, or a cream that'll have to be made, which I can do, and it'll only take me a few minutes. But you know,
Well, he wants it bad enough, so let's hurry up with it.
well,
I just don't want to get our people infected, is all.
well, he's like, McCabe turns to you and goes, "Hellhound fleas are not pleasant."
Oh, definitely not. Trust me, I'm feeling quite the burning little itches right now.
But all I have to do is look up the recipe, throw a couple of ingredients together, and you'll be good to go.
Sounds good to me. Is there a way you could deliver it kind of like to one of the local taverns? We'll try to get you. tell you which one we're at.
Uh, I could, but
If it takes only a few minutes, let's just wait for it. Hurry
yeah,
up.
yeah. He's like,
I don't want to rush the man. He's working hard. He might have other orders to do today. What-
uh, he's like, oh, it'll take 15 minutes.
all right. I just hope I'm not interrupting anything else.
Um, Nothing that can't wait 15 minutes. Uh, so he turns to the shelves on the back wall where all of his ingredient books are, pulls out a potions book and flips through it for a second and goes, oh, this will be easy. There's only 3 ingredients. Uh, Although you might want to head to the back of the shop because one of the ingredients is a low level fireball.
Oh, all right.
Um,
I'll go do that right now.
so he mixes the other 2 things in a mortar and pestle and takes a deep breath and closes his eyes and uh, puts his finger into the mortar and pestle, and a low level low level fireball erupts into the bowl. That's to hold everything together and sort of bind the demon content. Um, you do, you do. Couple seconds later, you do see a column of blackish gray smoke come out of the uh, mortar and pestle. Glad I don't get calls for that one too often.
Well, I can see why. I mean, it seems a wee bit dangerous.
Yeah. And at that point, he stirs it a little and uh, scoops it into a small wooden box, ties a string around the lid, and hands it to you.
Thank you so much. I reach into my coin pouch and pull out some. I pull out. How much gold do you think this is worth?
He says, that'll be 5 gold.
I give him 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And keep the change. Again, I'm very sorry about this. Well, it's quite embarrassing.
Uh, I'm, I'm sure I've managed to handle worse. Uh,
So does he just? I mean, how does he take that then? Just rub it on himself, or?
yeah, it's cream.
Oh, okay. Wanted to
It's
make
a,
sure.
it's like a thick hand lotion sort of thing.
Just so long as he doesn't eat me in health half form, that's fine.
Well, uh,
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, Lafont. I'm only 3 feet tall and in wolf form as well.
so he could bite your ankle and stuff.
Yeah, that's about it.
Uh,
I mean, you could still pump me halfway across the world.
yeah. Just don't do it when you're standing in the middle of the tavern.
They just roll up a newspaper and go smack. No.
Yeah. And well, when he hands you the box, he's like, you really should start practicing on how to control that.
Well, trust me. Well, from what I've been told, the most dangerous thing I've done so far is go for very long walks.
No, you tried to attack Keno when you first turned.
Oh yeah, I did. But after that, it was mostly fetchies and walkies.
Right.
Right.
Well,
He did pull me halfway round the round the city chasing cats, but
It, it insulted me mom,
mhm.
and you don't insult
At,
me
at
mom.
least the harness and muzzle didn't melt. So that's a good thing.
true.
Well,
It did take a wee bit of a beating though.
I don't think I've ever seen you guys before. Are you new to Valrune or passing through or
No, here on official business.
We're going on the way to the castle.
That gate, just we are on official business.
uh, okay. Uh, well, I hope whatever it is successful. And
Oh, we hope so too. Trust me.
if
Yes.
you need something else before you leave town, just let me know. And
I'm sure we would need some healing potions and some other stuff.
you, that is something. Do any of you have healing potions in your inventory at this point?
Not at this
I
point.
I
Or have you used them
no
all?
no. It looks like I haven't got any at this point either.
Uh, he says healing healing potions are what I sell the most of. They tend to go fairly quickly. When this town had a lot of mining in it, so the miners get injured, so I end up selling a lot of healing potions and stuff like that.
I mean, maybe we could buy a case of them.
Now that would take some time
Right.
to put together. But if you're gonna be in the city for a day or two,
Oh, I think we might be longer than a day or two. It's been it's been a week, probably a week, maybe two.
No, I'm hoping not that long, Jinx. Really, I'm not.
Right. Yes. I'm imagining it'll be a day or two.
you get the sense that your companions want to do this and get out of town as quickly as possible.
Well, that and we've got other things we need to do as well. So
Well,
yes, it's
that's true. I completely forgot. Deeply apologize.
And considering you don't know where your cleric is at the well, you sort of do know where your cleric is at the
well.
moment.
Actually, Jinx doesn't. We haven't told him yet.
Well, you haven't told me yet. Those only
I guess
reply to you.
I told you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mentioned that I told you. Yes.
And well, we might as well take what supplies you have on hand right now of potions.
Well, me check and see how many I have. Mm. Says goes behind the curtain and comes back a couple seconds later and says, I currently have 5 of them complete. Uh, they are all basic healing potions. Um, normally, they would be 50 gold apiece, but if you buy all 5 of them, I'll give you a discount.
Okay.
We seem to have lost our hellhound friend again. There he is. Okay, there we go. Jenks, you just need to stop touching buttons. That's
Yeah, it's been one of those nights.
take your hand away from the mouse and don't touch any more buttons.
All right.
So, um, so instead of 250 for 5 of them, I'll give you 5 of them for 200 gold. It'll be a 50 gold discount.
Well, that sounds like a great deal, and I'm all for it.
So,
Okay.
do you want these wrapped up, or do you just want them like to divide them amongst yourselves?
Nah, let's wrap them up.
Yeah. So he uh, gets a piece of parchment and some string and wraps the 5 small bottles into a bundle and sets it on the counter. Anything else you might need while you're here?
Um, how long would it take you to say make 5 more?
Probably by the end of the day.
Okay, and basic or a little bit stronger?
I, I can make them as strong as you want them, but the stronger they are, the more expensive they'll be. So that's completely up to you.
Um, what do you think? Maybe a little bit
Well,
stronger?
yes, I would say probably a bit stronger. Just, you know, stronger is probably not a bad idea.
Well, there's the basic level, which is what you just bought. There's a medium level and a superior level. Um,
I'd say that we go medium level.
that would be um, plus before discount. That would be 375. Um, I will give them to you for 300. And you can either come back at the end of the day and get them, or if you're staying somewhere and want them delivered, all you have to do is tell me where you are.
Sounds good. I mean, there's a tavern, I mean, an inn we've stayed at quite a bit here, so we might go back to that one.
Okay.
Right. That we don't really know how long what we've got to do is going to take, so might be best to have it delivered to the inn.
Okay.
Yep.
I can do that.
Just yeah, deliver them to the whatever the tavern's name is that we stayed at, and just tell the barkeep to hold it for the big dragon.
Okay. So,
And we don't unfortunately have quite enough gold on hand at the moment, but I think this piece and this piece might help with the payment. Pull out two pieces of scale, dragon scales.
oh, I can always do something with dragon scales. That's um fact those two should cover it,
Okay.
because with the 200 for the normal ones and the 300 for the other ones, that's 500 gold. Those two scales should cover that. So, somebody's annoyed.
I think Jinx thought that was a bit too much money to spend.
uh, Jenks channeling his hellhound form. Uh,
I'm about ready to take these dogs downstairs.
but so I will ha- I will have I have a boy that delivers things that need to be delivered. So when I get them done, I'll have him bring them over to the end.
All right, thank you.
Uh,
And I take the five basics healing potions we just got and put them in my bag
okay,
as the bundle.
okay.
And
Uh,
it's only a pouch size bag.
right. Well,
Just describing for the others.
these are basically,
No,
uh,
the size of the pouch looks like it's just a coin pouch.
yeah.
It opens big enough for that bundle to go into it, but it looks like a coin pouch.
Well, unless you guys have something else you need, I'm gonna get started on these. Uh,
No, we just need
I
to
think
get
we're
this
good.
one. We just need this one to stop itching now. So put your flea bag medication on.
Right. I start I start rubbing the ointment on my body.
yeah, and it does the same thing that like icy hot does, except there's no icy part. It's it just heats up.
Is a burning sensation in the skin electric reaction, or is this kind of normal?
Oh, it's normal.
Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah, one or two applications, you should be fine.
Well, all right, thank you.
And McCabe walks you to the door and says, um, there should be a delivery at the end for you by this evening.
Right, thank you.
Um, you guys walk back out of the apothecary shop, and are you are you now headed toward the inn, or are you headed toward the king and toward the castle with the body?
I guess we might as well go on up to the castle, get this over with.
So you follow the main street to the center of town, and up on a very high cliff is the king and queen's castle. There is a um, separate road that leads up to the door, to the drawbridge of the castle. It looks like it's made out of onyx. It's The road is black and shiny and slick. Uh, but your horse and your wagon make it fairly easily. And when you get to the drawbridge, um, there are once again two rather large dragonborns, like the ones at the main gate, only these are in actual um, royal armor. These are two of the king and queen's um, personal guards. And you, you get to them, they both turn and look at you, and one of them asks you, how can we help you?
So I'll take the official paperwork from LaFall and just hold it out to them. We're
Uh,
here on business with the king and queen.
Yeah, we have a weird bit of a special delivery.
um, one of the guard takes them. One of the guards take them, and he reads them fairly quickly. And he says, I will be right back. I need to show these to the king and queen. So
Right, we'll just be out here.
he he takes the papers and disappears for a couple of minutes, and then comes back, says, uh, the king and queen will see you. they were doing other things, but when I showed them the papers, they were like, uh, "You need to bring them to us." So, how do you propose to? The wagon will not fit in the castle.
Well, no, we'll leave the wagon outside, of course.
So, are the three of you all going in?
Oh,
I think
yes.
best, yes.
And before I go, before we even get up to the castle, I want to take a roll back here a few seconds. Um, you see me actually pull out two swords from the bag as well and strap them on.
The guards see you do this and look at you somewhat oddly because it's obvious that the swords are much bigger than the bag you just pulled them out of.
Uh huh.
And so the guards are like, okay, uh, how, what do you propose to do with the princess's body at this point?
Um, Unfortunately, the only person here that I can think of able to carry her would be me.
Right. Or you could get the guards to help you.
No, I don't want to involve the guards, unfortunately, because it's not their issue.
Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight after the baseball game. I'm Sierra Fox. Off the top, we're still dealing with the extreme heat. We did get a brief break just yesterday with temps dipping below the 90s, but that's still scorching hot.
Okay. So does that mean you're actually gonna pick up the body and carry it in with you?
Yep.
Y- You pick up the body. It's wrapped in at least one blanket, if not more. Um, and it is starting to seriously smell because it's been in the sun for days. Um, the guard that's leading you to the royal chambers ask you what that is. So do you respond to him at all or do you just keep walking?
Just keep
Well,
walking.
I don't think you will know, sir.
Yeah, I think we'll all find out in a minute.
Oh, yes. Well,
Uh,
very much the same.
so, so you continue walking down this uh, onyx colored hallway, and at the end of it, it just opens up to a very wide open room. There's no doors or anything. Um, but it's w- uh, extremely ornately carved, uh, and it looks very much like dwarven work. But then again, all you've seen uh, since you've been in Valrune are basically dwarves and dragonborns. And at the far end of this large room are two um, very large golden chairs. Uh, and in one of them is um, the king, and the other one is the queen.
Walk up without saying a word, lay the body down, step back, hands resting on the pommels.
Um, the king stands at this point.
Now, as he stands up, I take a look around. How many people are in this room?
The
Guard
floor.
wise and all.
The guard that brought you and the king and queen.
Okay.
Um, the king says, I am King Tandor, and this is Queen Raylan. It has been, we remember you, but it has been quite a while. Um, what is the bundle you lay on the floor?
Um, you might want to sit down.
He sits down, and uh, what you are looking at is King Tandor is um, he is a dragonborn. His skin is silver, and uh, Queen Raylan is a dragonborn, and her skin is a deep copper color. And instead of wearing royal raiments, they are wearing very ornate wizard robes, uh, both of which are black, but they have uh, colors, splashes of colors on them that move. Um, King Tandor sits back down. Uh, well, are you going to unwrap it, or
Um,
are we are we just gonna sit here looking at it?
It's
I don't think we want to unwrap it, but as you know, the last time you saw us, you gave us a charge.
I thought that was a different kingdom.
Um, we both well remember the last time you were here because our daughter left with you.
Oh, boy. And
And you don't see the charge with us.
No,
mm,
but I was just assuming that she was still in Gelborn.
actually,
Um,
she's kind of back.
would would that be true?
Thanks. Please be a little bit more. Um,
Tactful?
yes,
I'm trying, love. But somebody's got to tell him. And
not you.
what?
Yeah, probably me.
But someone who's a little more skilled with.
So issues arise regardless of what and who was sent. The ruler of Xandor had a contract on the envoy from here to Gilmore.
Well, that that is new information. We did not know such a thing.
Nor did we until
No,
If
events
no one
unfolded.
really knew of it until the contract was fulfilled, and
if,
I just happened to catch the culprit.
if we had known that, we would not have sent our daughter with you. And Queen Raylan uh, drops to her knees next to the package, as it were, and she goes, "You're doing a very roundabout way of telling us that this is
Yes,
our this is our daughter."
Yes,
I
well, it is
was
an awfully
being
hard thing to tell you, so
trying to
yes.
be tactful without breaking your hearts, even though I know it will.
Well, the explanation is good to know, but uh, do you know why um, minions of Xandor would have a contract out on our daughter?
Apparently, they want the war conflict to be escalated.
Oh, uh, so they're attempting to uh, bring on a war between us and Gelborn?
Yes, because they knew there was already bad blood and there was conflict. They wanted it escalated.
Well, yes, we have contracts with both of our neighbor kingdoms. We don't always get along with them quite well, but um, and King Tandor said it does make me wonder that there's been no prior communication from Gelborn, though.
We got here as quick as we could with the communication of this contract and assassination. We were charged with the return, delivery, and inform in the informal and the formal presentation of evidence collected. They used the poison from Xandor, made of their plants and all. Unfortunately, there was not any antidote to be able to be found?
There wouldn't be. Not much is known about the kingdom of Xandor. Uh, People think Canamir keeps to itself. Xandor is even worse. Uh, they have. This is the first time that they outwardly attacked any of us, but
Well,
none of the
they
king, none of the northern kingdoms have ever been friendly with Xandor.
and apparently Xandor has camouflaged themselves as your soldiers and attacked the southern portion of Canamir or whatever the
Or
other king,
Gelborn.
Galborn, and in means of escalation as well. Now we are on our way down there to try to get facts and information to avoid other conflicts.
We have heard rumors of um, su- supply chain problems coming from the south. As you know, we are all three of the northern kingdoms are artisans to a certain degree. So when our supplies get interrupted, it's a large problem. Um, and and at this point, uh, Queen Raylan just sort of uh, she was on her knees in front of the body, and now she just sort of collapses on it. Uh,
I'm going to rush to try to catch her and try to fan her with my wing to try to.
uh, she's a dragonborn. She's multiple times heavier than you are.
Yeah, you'd be
Uh,
Oh, that's true.
squished.
yeah. So now Jinx is sandwiched between the queen and the body.
Oh no.
Uh,
I'm going to stick my hand out from underneath the plane and be like, "This isn't what looks like, Your Highness. I'm just trying to help."
uh, give me an athletics roll to see if you can get up.
Okay. Oh boy, Afflex. Here we go.
Because you have a 200-pound dragonborn on top of you.
All right, here we go. Please be a 11.
Um, you cannot, with the state that the queen is currently in, you cannot convince her to move. Uh, she almost doesn't recognize that you're there because she's so distraught over her daughter.
I try my best to help comfort the situation.
Uh,
You're
and
stuck, Jinx.
uh,
I'm
basically,
just hoping the Kings aren't going to be too mad at me for trying this.
basically, after a few minutes, the king reaches down and takes Raylan's hand and brings her back up to a standing position. Uh, however, um, take 6 points of crushing damage. So you're by the time you and you need to give me another athletics check to see if you can scramble off the body now that the queen has moved.
All right, so rolling. All right. 12. These are my rolls.
Uh, that'll be good enough for you to get up. You are sort of battered and bruised looking, uh, though, and uh, I need all of you to give me a perception check.
9.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Jinx.
On perception. Oh, not perception. Here we go. Plus. Five.
So we all failed.
If you if you guys were playing Cthulhu, you'd be brilliant, but and D&D, you all failed miserably. Uh, I will tell you what you don't see because you need to know this. Um, as the king picks up his queen, she whispers something in his ear, uh, at which point he turns and stares at the guard in the room, and and what you would have noticed had you all not failed is actually, is there a listen function in D&D, or am I thinking of a different game?
No, that's Cthulhu.
Okay. Um, what are all of your passive perceptions?
Mine's 12.
My perception, you said?
Pass passive perception.
My perception is my main perception. Well, my perception is 0.
Well, no, because your passive perception is 10 plus your perception modifier plus um your um space in the word. Um, but, um,
Well, my wisdom is 11.
yeah, but your that's not it. Your
Right.
um, I need I need a sheet here.
So passive wisdom perception is
Yeah,
what it's called.
your passive perception is your wisdom bonus plus your 10 plus your I can't think of the word for the life of me at the moment. Um, I need to get a hold of a sheet here. There we go. Um, oh, your it's 10 plus your wisdom bonus plus your proficiency bonus.
Uh,
Proficiency was the word I was looking for and couldn't come up with. Um,
Oh, I only have mine as 10 plus my wisdom bonus. I didn't add the proficiency.
yeah.
So mine's actually 16.
Okay.
Okay, since my base was a 12, my wisdom bonus is 3, so that's 15, and proficiency bonus is a 4, so that's total 19.
Um, so
Nigga,
you
no.
got you guys notice you don't see him look at the guard, but what you do notice is a low growl uh, coming coming from the king.
I got a 5, but I rolled in that one.
Well, you failed your passive perception,
Yep.
but the other two of you hear a low growl that is coming from the king. Uh,
Okay, since he's dragonborn, I'm dragon, what does the growl sound as like?
well, it sounds very similar to what if you were making a deep uh, guttural growling noise. That's what you're hearing.
Okay, what kind of intention is behind that growling?
Uh,
Is it one of a hostility guttural growl?
well, yeah, uh, I wouldn't necessarily say it was hostile. What you do pick up is they're both extremely upset, which would be completely normal.
Right.
Uh,
So, Seldom, look, we are very sorry to have had to uh, complete this mission, and it is very sad for all of us, and do apologize for everything that's happened. Unfortunately, as and you have our deepest assurance that we will get to the bottom of this whole thing with Xandor, and we're going there next, actually, to try to, figure out what all of this is all about. And I am
Um,
sorry.
is the king of Gelborn financing this trip of yours to Xandor?
He's not financing it, but he has given us a royal commission to investigate.
Okay. Um, are um are your funds such that you can get down there and get back easily, or
Um, it's hard to say because I've just had to give up 2 scales for potions,
well,
and that's only 5 potions.
I mean your how much gold do the three of you have on you?
Or got about let's see,
What was that?
let me check my pouches.
Well,
I've
I only have about 174 gold.
I've got 120 on me at this time.
Um, so 120, that's 290, 490, 1490. So we have roughly 1500 in gold, and I have a number of scales that, if I had to, which I don't want to, but if I had to,
yeah, he, he turns to you and goes, uh, unless you're in shedding season, it's not good for you to be removing your scales.
oh no, these are scales that did survive growing up, shedding.
Okay. Well, what I will do so that you don't have to use any more of your scales is you said you have 1500 gold. I will double that.
Okay.
So you now have 3000 gold to go on your mission. And you will not only have the official uh, royal seal of Gelborn, but I will give you similar papers so that you have them from Canamir also.
Well, thank
Be,
you. That is very generous and will be a great help to us.
because if you do not, for whatever reason, if you are not able to find out what the rulers of Xandor want, when you r- return to Solaria, and I will meet with the King of Gelborn, because if you are not able to satisfactorily solve this problem, Canamir will attack uh, Xandor in retribution for the death of our daughter.
Quite understandable. Hopefully, we will be able to satisfactorily solve it, and that won't be necessary. But
And if that were to happen, you don't want to be in the middle of it. But when you return, we will meet, and uh, I will even contact the royal family of Erdmore also, so that they know what my plans are. Uh, so I wish you great speed and good luck, because if you can't solve it, Xandor will not be standing by the time uh, the king, the queen, and I are done.
we will do our best to solve it.
Um, if that is all for now, um, I need to attend to my queen and begin
Right.
making begin making uh, funeral preparations for our daughter.
That is all for now. Oh, tomorrow when we part out, we'll need directions to the Underdark from here. We'll be heading south through there because we have our other companion has family matters she needs to handle.
In the Underdark,
Unfortunately, yes.
okay.
But she
Uh,
is, as you remember, a drow.
yes. Um, eh, actually, and and he he he's he stand he stands up and motions for you to follow him,
Okay. Well,
I'll do so.
and you guys exit the uh, royal chamber. The guard from the door is following behind you, and he takes you into the uh, great hall where they have uh, state dinners and such, and takes you over to the corner of the room and taps on one of the floor tiles, and it opens up, and there's a stairway. You can reach the Underdark through there.
okay.
When you're ready, just let one of my guards know, and they will bring you here.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm. I suppose you want to have like a bag of holding then, because I don't think we can get all of our supplies carried that without one.
Mm, well, um, when are you wanting to leave?
Um, we were thinking that this whole issue would have been at least another day or two, so we have at least a tomorrow before we want to part.
I can enchant one for you before then. I don't keep them handy, but they're not that difficult to make.
We would appreciate it so we can carry
Yes.
all of our supplies that we were planning to go by cart with.
Yeah. Wh- Um, when you are actually ready to head into the Underdark, uh, ha- have the guard come and get me, and I will bring it to you.
Okay. And I guess we can stable our horses and cart here till our issues are resolved.
Yeah, the livery is just down the street, down the road by the blacksmith.
Right.
Um, and I'm assuming you're already staying at the inn.
Yes.
And he walks over to the desk uh, on the near side wall of the great hall. And in Dwarven, in Draconic script, he, gi- he gives you the royal uh, decrees that you need. Uh, and he pushes a, he rolls up the scroll and pushes a wax seal into the middle of it. All you need to do is show uh, the livery and the innkeeper uh, this, and they will give you whatever you need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he looks at the guard behind you again and motions with his hand, and uh, the guard walks around in front of you and uh, disappears down the hallway. And then a few minutes later, he comes back with this uh, fairly decent sized bag and hands it to you. And the king says, "This is the 1,500 gold that I promised you."
Thank you very much.
Very much appreciated.
I would suggest that you head to the inn and rest up for the night. Um, I also wouldn't mention this to anyone.
Uh, mention what? The mission we're on? South?
Yeah,
Alright. Well, we won't.
and or the death of the princess.
Oh, alright. Understood.
And he motions again at the guard, and the guard comes up next to you. Eh, ushers you out of the great hall and back outside of the castle.
Make our way over to the inn.
And as you leave um, the company of the guard says, I hope you can fix this, because if you can't, it's going to get nasty.
Oh, nasty is the least of it we'll get. And that's just starting off.
Well, given the situation, I was amazed that you're still standing.
I'm quite grateful we are.
Why do you think I got myself armed before I went in?
Uh, he says, yeah, those are nice. Uh, Surprised the queen didn't disintegrate your head, but,
Yes, I quite
It would
like
have
my
been
head.
fun for her to try, but yeah.
well, they are fairly skilled high-level mages, and I would imagine she's incredibly upset right now, so unless you want to see the kingdom of Xandor obliterated, uh, I hope your mission is successful.
I've personally got no stake in whether Xandor or not gets obliterated, but as far as the mission's concerned, I hope we're successful as well.
Um, with that, he wishes you a good night and turns and heads back toward the castle. Um, it's late enough, there's no line at the end, so you just walk in the door. Um, there's a few empty tables. You don't necessarily see a waitress, but there is a female dwarf standing behind the bar. And in a quite oddly cheerful tone for dwarf, uh, she says, hello, I see there's a group of 4 of you. What can I get for you?
There's three
Rooms
of
for the night.
us.
Uh, you need 4 of them?
No, there's only three of us.
Oh, yeah. Uh, sh- shouldn't drink my own, shouldn't drink so much of my own ale.
Yes, probably
Uh,
not.
uh, After a while, I start seeing things that aren't there. So she says that'll be 6 gold and your
Show her the
dinner.
seal.
Okay. Oh, okay. You're on a. You're helping the king and queen, I see. So yeah, just grab a table and you can get dinner, and also the room comes with breakfast in the morning. And she follow. You guys find the table, and she follows you over. Uh, pull pull the little piece of charcoal and a little piece of parchment out, and uh, ask you what you ask you what you'd like to order, but then she realizes she hasn't brought menus over. So,
She really does need to lay off this rotten ale.
and so she hurries over to the bar, grabs 3 menus, and brings them back. And
Did we lose Jinx to a nap?
Oh, I'm sorry.
uh,
I'm asleep.
uh, the, the you crashing is usually our sign to end for the night.
Sorry about
Well, we're almost at the 2 hour mark, and we would have normally we go for a break
that.
somewhere around here anyway. So, um, so you guys look at the menus, and they have your standard, you know, steak, beef stew, or stew of some kind, and uh, various veggies, root vegetables, and uh, but uh, some of the things on the menu have stars next to them.
Ooh.
And then if you're able to read at the bottom of the menu, uh, says star equals dishes made with uh, the end's homemade volcano sauce, uh, in honor of the volcano that is actually in uh, the king and queen's castle. Sit on Sits on the edge of a volcano. It's the tallest mountain in the kingdom, but it's a volcano. So, uh,
I take it the volcano sauce is spicy then?
extremely. Mm. And the bartender comes back over and asks you what you want to drink and if you are ready to order as of yet.
We'll just have some tea.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, yes, I'm ready to order. I'll have a steak and a side of veg, and you've got me a helping of bread pudding. And as much as I'd like to be in the same state our bartender waitress is in, I'll have tea as well.
She says, I'll have to check on the bread pudding because I think you might be the first person that ever ordered such a thing.
Surprising how many waitresses and how many taverns have told me that.
Well, it is a rather fancy dish for a tavern. It's like, so, and she turns to LaFall and says, do you know what you want as of yet?
Um, take 5 steaks.
Okay. What would you like to drink with that?
Water.
That I can do that. And as the uh, waitress writes down the order and takes it back to the bar, you see this group of 3 gnomes get up in unison from the table and like run out the door. And the bartender sees this and is like, this always happens. People order the volcano sauce and then can't handle it. Yeah. They,
Oh, I thought they'd done a dine and dash without paying.
well, no. There's a pond out back, so they probably went and jumped in the pond. It's, I can guarantee they won't do that again. And she says it'll be 10-15 minutes before your food's ready.
Okay, give me enough time to go get the horses stabled, cart taken care of, and get back here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell Jinx about Korai, and because like I said, LaFall knows, but Jinx doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
So I'll tell Jinx about Korai, and that we're heading, obviously heading to the Underdark to see what we can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
On the, if we're going to the Underdark, I've been home. It'd be good to go back home. I haven't been there in a while.
Hmm.
I do
And,
wish Korai hadn't been so impatient and gone off on her own.
and as you're having this conversation, the bartender and an assistant appear at the table with all of your food and your water and such. And she's like, sorry for eavesdropping, but did you guys just say you're headed to the Underdark?
Tomorrow, yes.
I would only go there if I had to. The last
Well, we've got to.
the last 3 people that I knew about that went down there never came back.
Well, that's encouraging. But, I personally have been to the open lands and back, so.
Now there's some that I wouldn't do if you paid me.
Well, luckily I did get paid quite well for that, but yes, it wasn't pleasant at all.
All I'm saying is if you're going down there, you need to be really careful.
We'll be as careful as we can be, and I kind of glance at Jinx.
Because from what I've heard recently, the queen is not real thrilled. So I don't know why. I've just been hearing rumors that she's not real happy.
Because I'm wondering to myself when the Drow Queen is ever real happy.
Well, yeah.
That's okay. All I have to do is just go on the route and try to cheer up.
Oh, don't. Please don't play a lute for her. Please.
You'd be better off going back to McCabe's apothecary and get antidepressant medication. Yeah. Uh, cause the way Jenks rolls when he plays his lute, it's like,
I
uh,
got one good roll once.
actually, you've gotten like a 15 or 16 a couple times, but
Yeah,
normal.
it's rare. It's usually not for royalty.
Normally, you get single digits. So
Right.
Well, I'm going to call it a night, guys. I'm sorry I'm falling asleep.
that's okay.
That's all right.
We're actually at a spot where we can call it for the night because you guys aren't gonna go anywhere till morning
Right.
because you've got to go back and get your heal, or actually you're hoping your healing potions will show up fairly soon.
That's true. All right.
But
Good night, everybody. It was great playing tonight.
Good night.
good night. We'll see you next time. And uh as you guys are in the middle of dinner, a scruffy looking, uh, I would say, scruffy looking teenager walks up to your table. Says, are you the ones that ordered the healing potions earlier today?
We are.
Yes, we
I,
are.
I have a delivery for you then. And he puts a package on the table that looks identical to the one that you guys took out of the apothecary shop.
Thank you very much.
And McCabe says he hopes you don't need to use these, but if you need anything else, just let him know.
I'll give him a gold as a tip.
He's very surprised. most people don't give him gold coins. And he turns around and walks out of the inn.
Take that package and put it in the pouch as well with the others.
And that reminds you that you actually have a bag of holding that is being constructed currently that you have to pick up before you leave town.
Yep.
So you got you guys finish your food fairly easily. While you are doing so, a fight breaks out over in the corner between three dwarves that were uh, having a little bit of a drinking contest, but apparently something went wrong and they started swinging at each other. And they've been there the entire time that you're there, and most people who aren't dwarves would be laying on the floor with the amount of alcohol that these three have put down. Um, Now the three of them are swinging wildly at each other, and they're not hitting each other, but they're trying. Uh, the bartender sees this and comes over with what is ostensibly a large tree limb, and and basically whacks all three of them on the head, and they drop. She's like, silly dwarves. They drink too much and then they get in fights, and I have to knock them out. Like, gee. It's like I don't have better things to do. She goes back behind the bar. Three dwarves are just laid out unconscious by the table. She didn't bother to move them or anything.
Just left him laying there.
Yeah. And the two of you finish your meal. Jinx, for whatever reason, is face down on the table, snoring.
Well, it must take an awful lot out of one to randomly change into a hellhound.
Probably does.
Don't know. Hopefully, you'd never have to find out.
Right.
I don't know. If you switched into one, you could be a flying version of one. That'd
Oh,
be
that's just what we need, a flying hellhound.
that'd be interesting. But So you guys finish your food. Uh, what are you guys gonna do anything after dinner, or are you just gonna head up to your room, or what are you gonna do?
And no, I think I'm just heading up to room because I already stabled the horses and carriage before dinner, so
Right. You
they're taken
are
care of for the week, for the time that we're gone.
you already took care of that. Um, so if you're not gonna do anything after you guys finish eating, you both head up to your rooms. Um, you open the doors and it's a decent room. It's not anything great. You've stayed in much better inns than this before. The the inn next to the King and Queen's Castle in Gilbourne is much nicer than this. Uh, but I need you both to make me perception checks.
25.
Okay, where'd that come from?
I rolled an 18 and my bonus is +7.
You hardly ever roll 25. What? Uh,
17.
you both roll high enough that you noticed when you came in the door there was something staring back at you from the window.
In both of our rooms, so
On the opposite side of the room, yeah.
it's obviously more than one of whatever this thing is.
Oh, um, you've in fact seen them. They are two of the spies from Xandor. You can tell by their outfits.
Oh,
They're they're
great.
they're wearing desert clothing, and they're not in the desert, so they look completely out of place. But there there are two of them, and one of them is staring in each of your windows. So what do you
Just
want?
smile and give a come hither finger wiggle.
Well, do they look? Does the one looking in my window look threatening at all, or is he just like looking?
He doesn't look threatening, but it's dark outside. And you
I'm just
can't.
gonna go over and draw the curtains.
And you hear this. You hear this sound that is definitely like a curse word, but not in a language you've ever heard before. So you hear this weird word, but it's definitely got the volume and tone of a curse word to it. It's like, and the one that you tried to get to come to you shakes his head, and then he does the same thing to you, wanting you to come outside.
You know what? I just rolled a natural 20, so coming outside, I'm going right through the window with him.
you're gonna
Full speed.
you're basically gonna bust through the window and just jump on him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, so you charge through you know, through the doorway of the room. You jump over the bed and do a head first dive out the window, attempting to land on this guy.
Oh no, I'm flying up in the air with them.
You're gonna
Okay,
grab him and fly up in the air.
okay, you attempt to grab him. Let me see if he's able to dodge that. And he does attempt to sidestep a little bit. Uh, give me an athletics check to see if you can keep a hold of him.
17, 22, 26.
Uh, he attempts to dodge, but you have a hold of him well enough that he moves a little bit, but not very much. So, so it's ostensibly almost pitch black outside,
Mm-hmm. Take them up
but
about 50 feet or so and hover there, looking at them.
you basically have him by the shoulders, and you can turn him to where he's facing you so you can look at him.
Yep.
So you fly up about 50 feet, and he's staring at you with this incredibly panicked look on his face. Because
So,
this did not go anywhere like he thought it was going to go.
what were you planning?
We're just keeping track of you.
Since when?
Since you came to Solaria with the princess,
What other instructions have you been given?
we were just told to keep track of you, and if for whatever reason you decided to head south, uh, we were told to track you.
I see. And
Cause
how many? How many are there?
you mean just here?
Who's how many with you?
Um, just the other guy looking in the other window. Uh, but we have spies in all the kingdoms.
Oh,
We
no
have
doubt.
we have spies in Canamere. We have spies in Erdmore. You've seen us in Gelborn.
Mm-hmm.
We have people everywhere. Uh,
And
mm,
I'm sure all the kingdoms have spies everywhere as well.
well, yes. Uh, we all spy on each other. It's just a question of, who gets the upper hand and for how long. Uh, my king wants to take over Erdmore, Canamere, and Gelborn. Uh, he basically wants to rule the continent. So that is his plan at the moment.
Wonderful.
And he figured if we can start a war between the three of you, it'll be easier for us to come in and take over.
Yeah, and they already know that you all are trying that.
And how would they know such a thing?
Because your assassin was worthless.
I told the king he needed to spend more money on training.
So now the question comes, what do I do with you?
You could put me down gently and let me walk away. How's that? you, you,
Um,
a- you asked me what you should do with me, so what do you think I'm gonna
no, I know. Trust me, I understand your
say?
point of view exactly. And unfortunately, I can't do that point of view. At least I
Why?
can't set you down here gently, but I know a place that I can set you down gently at,
And where would that be?
in front of the castle with the guard. Then let them deal with you.
I guess it's better than falling 50 feet. I don't know, but neither scenario is gonna end very well for me. But
I'm just doing my duty, though. Unfortunately, your duty didn't pan out as well as you thought it would.
no, hey, you win some and you lose some. I guess I don't know.
So, as we are talking, yes, I am flying over to the front of the castle.
Okay, the guards that are around that perimeter of the castle look up and see you carrying the dark figure in the sky above the castle.
And make my way down to the ground.
And it is, in fact, the same two guards you talked to earlier when you went into the king and queen's, when you delivered the princess. Upon landing, one of them is like, "And what do you have for us now?"
Xandor, Xandorian.
Think we're gonna have to request more guards from the king if uh, he points at the spy with a spear and pokes him a couple times. And he's like, if these things can get in that easily, we need more guards.
And there's at least one more. Unfortunately, I didn't go back for him.
And he's like, and where did you find these people?
Looking in my room at the end, which has a nice big hole in it.
Yeah, the window's gone. uh, if you'll watch him for a second, I'll be right back. And he heads inside. And a couple minutes later, he comes back out uh, with wrist and ankle shackles and chained him up. And oh, by the way, the king said that I should take half a dozen guards and head over to the inn where you saw these people at.
Okay.
So, um, one of the other guards that's standing there takes the guy in chains inside.
Oh, by the way, when you check them, make sure you double check every hidden spot because the assassin from them had stuff in places that you wouldn't think he'd have stuff at.
Well, yeah, uh, if they have a tendency to use poison, we need to get rid of that.
Oh no, it just wasn't poison. I'm talking about like little blades and stuff in places where you wouldn't think of checking, but you better check.
We will, uh, we will definitely do that once we have him down in the dungeon. And with that, 5 or 6 guards follow you back to the inn. Um, when you get back there, you notice that not only is your window broken, but so is Kenneth's. And there used to be a guard standing where there used to be a spy standing where there's now a broken window. They broke the window and made it into your room.
Of course they did.
And you look in the window and the room's been trashed. They've gone through everything in the room.
Wait, I was in the room, so what's happened to me?
No, I thought you went with him.
No, no,
No.
no. That was all just me.
Yeah, no, I was in my
Okay,
room.
well, uh, then I have to roll for a couple things here. Uh,
You got the chopper in sight. Where are you?
uh,
Hold your fire. We're coming in.
he finally looks up from trashing your room and sees you standing there.
With my great axe in my hand.
I didn't say he was a smart spy. I just said he. And he pulls his sword when he sees you, but he's also slowly backing out toward the broken window. So what do you do about that, if
Well,
anything?
like I said, I've got my great axe in my hands. I'm going to swing it at him.
G- g- um, since he's retreating, you get to uh, have initiative first. So, uh, how many attacks do you get per round?
2.
Uh,
So am I rolling initiative or am I rolling to hit?
You're rolling the hit because he's backing away.
Alright. And my great axe is a +10 because I've had it enchanted. So,
Uh,
oh, and I got a nat 20.
okay.
So that would be the 30.
Right. Yeah.
I'm assuming that hits.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
And
Uh,
that's since it's a 20, I'm assuming that's a crit.
yeah. That's double damage basically.
So now roll damage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 1d12, so since it's double, do I roll 2d12?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find another d12. There we go. Okay, so that would be 18 points.
You basically take one large swing with your axe and you catch him on the collarbone and it splits the collarbone. It shatters it into little pieces and you hear him scream and um, then a large amount of blood starts to spray out of the artery that you clipped when you broke the collarbone and uh, in fact um, give me a dex roll to see if you can get out of the way of the blood.
10.
Um, we'll say you were able to get out of the way of some of it, but
I get a bit sprayed.
yeah. And he attempts to scramble backwards out the window,
I'm
but
going to help him then. I'll lift him up and toss him out the window.
so you do that, and there's just blood trail out the window, and as he hits the ground outside the window, he just sort of collapses from blood loss. And
So is he dead? Good.
it has, however, drawn everybody else that was in the inn. They're all gathered around outside watching what's going on.
And I'm assuming I'm going to have to pay a bit extra for the room, for the broken window and the blood stains, but that's all right. I can do that.
Yeah. Fi- Finally, the lady that was the bartender comes out and goes, "What the heck's going on here?"
So I'll stand at the window and I'll call down to her. Yes, sorry about that. Spy from Zandor thought he'd be sneaky. Didn't know I was in here. I took care of him. A bit of a mess. I'll pay you for it.
She's like, "I have a hard enough time getting customers for this place. I don't need spies and getting their heads almost chopped off in the rooms. And now I'm gonna have to replace the carpet and everything else, or the rug in this case. But within a few minutes, everything disperses when the people realize that that's probably as far as this is gonna go.
And then they see me and a bunch of guards walking up to the inn.
Yeah, which stops the crowd exactly where they were, and now they're all looking at you.
So you got his friend.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, because, and it's the first thing the guards do. They surround this guy. It's like he's still spurting blood out of his neck and all stuff. And the guards are like, "You guys didn't." They're just standing there going, "What in the world just happened?" While we, and one of them goes in the end, grabs a blanket from the owner and brings it out and wraps the guy in it. Two, two of them pick him up, and one says to the other, "We should probably get him to the cleric hospital before he actually dies, because the king and queen will want to question this guy if he survives."
Oh, Kenna, did you check to see if there was one on Jinx?
Oh, no, I was busy with this fellow. Probably not a bad idea, though.
Yep.
So
Although the guards here, they could do it.
one of you tell the guards, and one of them, in fact, does walk down to Jink's room, and uh, Jinx is some Jinx is completely passed out on the bed, and the guard looks in the window and doesn't see anything. He's like, "Yeah, when you almost decapitated the other one, if there was one still hanging around, he probably isn't now." Uh, and the guards actually start searching the inn, and they talk to bartender, and apparently this is the first time she's ever seen anybody like what these two looks like. And after a little bit, they're like, well, we got a statement from the bartender. That's about probably all we're going to get. Uh, Hopefully, when the queen interrogates the one you brought over, when she does that tomorrow, we'll get a little more information out of him.
Hopefully,
Yeah, hopefully.
I'm sure the king and queen are quite adept at getting information out of people.
Well, they'll get as much information out of him as they can until they get frustrated. And I'm going to try and ask them not to make a mess this time.
Considering they're Xandalorian, they'll be lucky that a
Well,
mess is all they make.
the queen developed this new spell where she can apparently take you apart on a molecular level,
That doesn't sound fun.
and it makes and it scatters body parts all over the place. Yeah, and the guards are the ones that have to clean all that crap up. So,
I think they would be lucky to have that spell used on them the way the mother is.
well, yeah, she's not in the best of moods at the moment. So, yeah, wouldn't want to get on her bad side right now.
Yes, I wouldn't want to be from Xandor and face to face with her, to be honest.
And the bartender comes in and goes, "You two are gonna have to move. You can't sleep in rooms that don't have closable windows in them."
If you've got a couple of free rooms, I'd be happy not to sleep in this one.
Well, you're lucky because I do have a couple of empty rooms at the end of the hall.
Oh, and how much do I owe you for this? To sort of indicate the blood in the window and all.
I'll have to think about that. Cummins, you guys are probably coming down for breakfast, so I'll talk to you about that at breakfast.
All right.
I have to see what getting new windows is gonna cost. And she shows the two of you to your room. Um, and luckily, that is the last of the drama for the evening, and the two of you pretty much pass out for the night. Um, and that is where we're gonna end game, so that next time, um, you can explain everything that happened to Jinx, because he was out cold. The one, the one thing you did notice when the guard went into Jinx's room, the guard came out and said that Jinx kept talking about some orc. Like, Uh, like, and the guards are like, I didn't know bat folk hung out with orcs. That's kind of weird.
Yes, well, Jinx is kind of weird.
So, so did you guys have fun?
Yes.
And as always, I will have this up within 48 hours on YouTube and our podcast. Our podcast is doing amazingly well all of a sudden. Uh, and for that, I thank the people that are listening to it because um, pod, podcast hits the last 2 months have been like 10 times higher than they normally are.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
We normally get like 10 to 12 podcast listens a month. The last 2 months, we've gotten 101.
Oh, cool.
So something has changed. So,
Oh, well, hopefully it's, word of mouth. People are
yeah,
listening to us and then telling other people to listen to
yeah,
us. That's awesome.
yeah. So,
They all want to
and,
know whether Jinx is going to get killed by his breakfast or not.
or if he's gonna turn into a hellhound and then get then get killed by breakfast. That be a really weird thing. He orders squid again, and you see the squid fighting this hellhound in the middle of the bar. And the fact that the squid is bigger than Jenks, the squid wins. Yeah, but I was about to say next week is vampire, but next week is actually Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, next week is Cthulhu. Okay, I really better, really better get off my ass and make my character up then.
Because I do believe next Saturday is the 6th, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, so that's Cthulhu next week.
I thought you'd be running Cthulhu this weekend next week. Because
Um,
technically, this is the fifth Saturday.
yeah. Oh, I don't have the scenario completely done yet. I've got most of it done, but not quite all. So I need a couple more days. and um, and like I always say, buy all of Robin's books. The links are in the description. And there should be a new one of those almost done, right?
Yeah, honestly, probably in July. Maybe August, but I'm shooting for July.
Cool. And so instead of vampire, next week will be Cthulhu, and then we'll be back with fallen dragons the next week. And I will get to see just how much more complicated this all gets by next week.
See if we can save Korai.
That is if Korai reappears next week.
Right.
With him being captured, you never know. He might end up executed before his parents do.
Oh, geez. That wouldn't be
But
good.
it's like, time, timing is everything. So, I think that's all I've got for tonight. Uh,
See you next time.
and good night. Thank you for watching and listening. Whichever way you uh, digest our material, thank you for doing that. And watch out for Cthulhu coming out next weekend.
Watch me die.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever like truly survived one of those, have you?
No, I think the closest I came to surviving was choosing to become an eldritch monster rather than die.
Well, yeah. And the jury's still out on whether that was a good idea or not, but
Right.
uh, maybe you'll get off lucky and you'll just go
You saw
start
the
with
recording going.
maybe you'll get lucky and you'll just go completely insane.
Yeah.
But uh, we'll see you all next week. Clunk. And